Let's try to make sense of what the facts are, but most importantly, what the duty under the law is. Joining me now is the Assistant Secretary at Homeland Security who posted that tweet, Tricia McLaughlin. I thought you were ghosting me for a second. I'm glad you showed up.
Never, Chris. Thanks for having me. Some technical issues on our end.
Thanks for taking the opportunity. Let's talk a little facts and then we'll talk law, okay? The idea of how you described him, my understanding is that the DHS paperwork tells it a little differently, that the rolls of money, he didn't have rolls of money on him. The rolls of money were artwork on the hoodie that he was wearing. Are you aware of that distinction?
No, actually, Chris, that's incorrect. There was marijuana on this individual, and there was also over $1,000 of rolled money on him. So I'm not sure where you're getting that information, but in fact, there was physical cash on him, over $1,500, I believe, as well as you mentioned the rolled money on his shirt. He's wearing a sweatshirt that has signatures of what is MS-13, which it has currency from different countries that cover the ears, the mouth, and the eyes of different presidents of the United States, showing MS-13's slogan, which is "See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil."
And the idea that he was arrested, they grabbed him, there were drugs involved. We don't know that the drugs were his. He wasn't charged with anything. Why not? If it was such a no-brainer that this guy was an MS-13 gang member with other ones, why wasn't he charged with anything?
I can just speak to the safety of the American people now, and I can also speak to what his own wife wrote about in testimony, was that he beat her, Chris, was that he slapped her, and he punched her, and he scratched her, and as well ripped off her clothes. She wrote in her testimony that he feared her being around his children. So again, Chris, this is a member of MS-13. We also have intelligence that he was involved in human trafficking, and I understand a lot of the media wants him to paint him as this innocent, this Maryland father. That's entirely false. He was in this country illegally. He is now back home in El Salvador, exactly where he should be. And I think it's quite frankly disappointing that the media continues to fight for this illegal immigrant, for this terrorist to be back on U.S. soil. It really makes no sense to me, Chris. I don't know why the media is so hell-bent on bringing him home.
I don't think it's just the media, right? You got members of the Democratic Party, the elected officials who are down there, and I know you're talking about the media, but I know you're not talking about me. I keep pointing out that the political optics of this are bad. The problem is justice is blind for a reason. And you said that he was in America illegally. We both know that's not true because that immigration judge did the withholding of deportation. Now, look, I was never a fan of the mechanism, but the judge did give that order.
Can I actually stop you right there, Chris? Because
Sure.
I think you had some bad information on the beginning, and I do want to correct the record straight. There are actually two separate immigration judges who said that he isn't a member of MS-13 and rejected his appeal. He has a final order for deportation. No matter how you slice it, he shouldn't be in this country, and he was not in this country legally.
But they rejected his bond. I get it. I saw the paperwork. But the reason that he was still here is that even though his asylum claim was rejected, and I get why, he's not part of a protected class, he was given this withholding of deportation. And that's why he was still here. What do I have wrong there?
He has a final deportation order from a federal judge, Chris, that is plain and simple.
But then why did your agency claim that they made a mistake in deporting him?
Because here's the deal that happened, Chris. This individual, this illegal immigrant, could have gone, he could have been deported anywhere. Nicaragua, Egypt, Honduras, didn't matter. The reason that this Obama judge said that he could not go to El Salvador is because there's an MS-13 rival gang called Barrio, and that he would be targeted by them if he went back. Well, fortunately, because of President Bukele, there isn't this crime, there isn't these gangs in El Salvador, so that's no longer a threat. But no matter what, he had a final deportation order, and he's an MS-13 gang member who should not be on U.S. soil.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.